Now.
ओम विष्णुपदाय कृष्ण पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी तनमने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषाशून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधार श्रीवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. So we are reading from the living name book. Uh, So, meditating on the meaning of the mantra. So, in the Hari Bhakti Vilas, Srila Sanatan Goswami encourages us to practice Maham Mantrartha Chinta Nam. That is, we must meditate on the meaning of the mantra. Only then is the full power of the mantra is released. If we are absent-minded and not aware of the meaning, we remain unfocused. In the aforementioned verse from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Lila 22.33, we learn the secret. Proper inner orientation incorporates the meaning of the mantra in the mind. Please engage me in your service. By this, Sambandha Jnana is established, and thus we understand that we have a relationship with Krishna. The whole idea of chanting the holy name is to attract the presence of the Lord by glorifying Him. We call Him with affection because He possesses all the best qualities of beauty, strength, kindness, knowledge, and is capable of the supermost form of action. And because we really need Him, all the acharyas, great teachers such as Jiva and Raghunath Goswamis, Gopal Guru Goswami, and Bhaktivinoda Thakur have left us the list of meaning of the Mahamantra. Srila Prabhupada compacts all of this into the prayer. My dear Radha, my dear Krishna, please engage me in your service. In this connection, Srila Prabhupada gave an instruction that guides Kirtan leaders when they sing. Your business is not to satisfy the crowd. Your business is to satisfy Krishna. And then the crowd will be automatically satisfied. We are not going to please the crowd. We are going to give them Krishna. So you should be very much careful whether you are delivering Krishna in the right way. Then they will be satisfied. Your only business should be to satisfy Krishna. Krishna is not primarily about music, rhythms, fancy mridanga beats, kartal playing, attractive voices or melodies. The Lord is not really attracted to our music. He has gopis in the spiritual world who are expert musicians, far beyond our capabilities. They are served by 33,000 ragas. And Krishna himself plays with flute all day in a style that transforms the hearts, making even rocks melt. That is real music. He really doesn't need our music. He only needs our hearts. Kirtan is about a relationship. This cannot be emphasis enough if we don't become aware of our relationship with Krishna and don't begin to meditate on where we are right now in that relationship. We will sing more or less like a folk singers and never enter the mysteries of the mantra. Thus, Krishna will not be present in our kirtan because we are not present in our relationship with Him. The relationship is all He looks for. If we overlook this, we will never enter the world of Kirtan, but remain in the world of mundane music. Srila Haridas Thakur, the great teacher of the holy name, also explains this. If a person by a saintly Vaishnava's mercy understands his relationship with Lord Krishna and chants Lord Krishna's holy name, he then attains a great treasure of spiritual love. Sri Hariram Chintamani 3.26. The word Kirtan itself is derived from the root krit, to glorify. Thus, ask yourself before you begin to sing, whom do I glorify now? You can actually visualize yourself standing before your Lord and addressing Him through His holy name, O Radha, O Krishna. After we have connected with Krishna and start to address Him in a mood of servitorship, then if we are able, it's wonderful to add violin, sitar, flute, etc. to produce a concert worthy of pleasing Krishna. But first thing first, the relationship should always be the focal point. With that in our hearts, we can furnish further ornaments. If, however, you are not present in the relationship, you miss the point of Kirtan and will always practice shadow Kirtan, which will not nourish your spiritually. The real names versus the shadow name. So Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur has written two books on chanting, Sri Harinam Chintamani and sequel, Bhajan Rahasya. He says in the third chapter of Harinam Chintamani that we need to chant in the awareness of our relationship with Krishna. If we do not do this, then we will only ever obtain a shadow of the holy name, not the real name. Yavat sambandha gnana sthira nahi hai, tvat anarthe Namabhasera Ashraya. As long as one does not understand his relationship with Krishna, the individual soul will take shelter of Namabhas, the shadow of the holy name. Sri Harinam Chintamani 3.27. There is a difference between the real name and its shadow. Just as there is a difference between an actual tasty meal on the plate and a projected image of one. We can't actually eat from the latter. It is a shadow of the real thing, leaving us hungry and as a result, forcing us to go elsewhere to eat something real. It is the same with chanting. If we chant the shadow of the holy name, then that is to chant without any conscious awareness of our relationship with Krishna. We also remain spiritually hungry, and as a result, we are drawn to taste the pleasure of the material world without the the spirit of the name, we are forced to seek out material satisfaction and make unconscious compromises to our Krishna consciousness. The tragedy is that this is often done unconsciously and we don't even know what we are really doing or what we are really missing. You might ask, why can't we just remain neutral and go on chanting the name of Krishna distractedly without becoming materially motivated? The constitutional nature of the soul is to constantly gravitate towards enjoyment. We need enjoyment like we need water. Therefore, if we don't get spiritual enjoyment, we have no other choice but to look for short term illusory material enjoyment. Hence, it is absolutely essential to get spiritually nourished. If we don't, our hearts will feel immediately spiritually weak. This is an important signal we often miss and must urgently pay attention to. Therefore, as long as one does not learn from a bona fide spiritual master about the true relationship that exists between oneself and the Supreme Lord, he or she remains consigned to the anartha of ignorance. At a certain point in my life, I stopped all I was doing to look back on the years behind me. I was deeply disappointed because I could see that I had not made full use of the teachings of Krishna consciousness. I still had most of the symptoms of material consciousness. I needed to change something, or I felt I would die of frustration. It was then I began a sincere inquiry into why my spiritual progress had come to a halt and how I could truly advance from where I was. I asked the question, what is missing in my life? After hours soul searching for maybe 3 or 4 years, one dear Vaishnava who was very close to Srila Prabhupada reminded me in a moving conversation of the importance of chanting the holy name properly. He challenged me, is that not what your spiritual master had told you? Why have you forgotten? These words come from the mouth of a man who chanted 64 rounds a day. There was tremendous force behind them. I thought to myself, he really does not know what he's talking about. So I received his words deeply and felt a new awakening to the teachings of my spiritual master. Then I knew what I had to do. I began my journey with the holy name and discovered many things I had only heard of before. Perhaps the most important realization was that we have to chant the real name and not the shadow of the name. Let me ask you now, have you achieved what you most deeply desire in your spiritual life? What is your plan to get there? How long can you go on tasting shadow spiritual experiences? 1 more year, 2 more years, or 3 more years? It's a serious issue. Personally, I have spent a lot of my life in a shadow chanting, and I have still falling into that trap. When I look around, I see many devotees who are not yet spiritually satisfied because they too experiencing only the shadow of spiritual life. They attain a semblance, a look-alike, but not the real thing. It is for this reason we are not as spiritually strong as we wish to be. We would wish to be. So we'll pause here. So to summarize today's uh, reading, there are two things. That one is, first we need to chant in relationship, because I heard from senior devotees also that if you chant without relationship, without uh, proper understanding, then even if you're chanting and you are still like impersonal, you are following impersonalism, even though you're chanting Krishna's name. So that's why it's very important that we understand that Krishna and Krishna's name has a form, and then we have a relationship with them. And second thing is chanting in Namabhas, because Namabhas is just like a as here example given, it's not real food, but it's just the reflection of food. So it doesn't not give us any satisfaction. So if we chant in Namabhasa, eventually we will feel frustrated, because our soul needs the real taste of chanting, and we feel frustrated, and we go and turn around to the material things to satisfy that, and eventually we fall out of our spiritual life. So that's why it's very important that we consciously follow this practice and avoid the trap of the namabhas, and we taste the real taste